After the release of Bodyguard, its director and star were off on opposite trajectories. For Richard Fleischer, this was the first in a series of exciting and inventive crime thrillers that propelled him into the top echelon of Hollywood directors. Pretty soon, he'd be at the helm of big-budget 1950s spectacles like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and The Vikings, and studios began entrusting him with film adaptations of popular bestsellers in all genres. His career lasted well into the 1980s. As for Lawrence Tierney, not long after Bodyguard was released in 1948, he did 3 months in stir for busting a guy's jaw in a bar. In the same year, he was charged with kicking a cop while drunk and disorderly, his seemingly perpetual state. Despite attempts to groom him as a leading man, nothing and no one could control Lawrence Tierney's propensity for drunken brawling and outrageously antisocial behavior. His brother Scott, who sounded exactly like him and was even more handsome, ended up getting steadier work after he changed his name to Brady to avoid any confusion with his notorious sibling. By 1952, Tierney was back in New York. That's where he boxed a professional welterweight on the corner of 53rd and Broadway. He may have been the only actor in Hollywood history who posed for more mugshots than publicity photos. His police jacket is extensive. Belted a cop in 56, simple assault in 57, kicked down a dame's door that same year, broke another jaw in 58, as well as a dust-up with cops outside a 6th Avenue tavern. The day Tierney's mother killed herself in 1960, he was arrested for breaking in a woman's door and beating up her boyfriend. Yet, amazingly, his professional career lasted longer than Richard Fleischer's, although his untamable wild streak prevented him from ever getting close to the stardom he reached in the 40s. But he did work steadily, usually employed by filmmakers with a fondness for the actor's renegade lifestyle. In 1977, he turned up in Andy Warhol's Bad, and John Cassavetes cast him as a bartender in the 1980 crime thriller Gloria. John Huston found a bit for him as a cop in Prizzi's Honor, and Norman Mailer gave Tierney a major role as Ryan O'Neal's father in the legendarily bizarre Tough Guys Don't Dance. Most notably, cinephile turned filmmaker Quentin Tarantino introduced Tierney to a new generation of moviegoers, casting him as Joe Cabot, leader of the Reservoir Dogs, Tarantino's debut feature. I crossed paths with Lawrence Tierney one memorable night in 1999. I was only days into presenting the first film noir festival I'd ever programmed in Hollywood, and guess who showed up for the screening of Born to Kill? Tierney was 80 years old, cold sober, but every bit as intimidating, belligerent, and off the rails as his reputation. But he was also incredibly smart, extremely well-read, and let's just say, bracingly forthright. Most of what transpired that evening can't be related on a family-friendly network, but to give you a sense of the man, I'll share this. When I asked Tierney if he had any wisdom to share about navigating the kind of long and tumultuous life he'd led, he looked me square in the eye and said, "Yeah, never get in a fight with a guy who knows how to handle a knife." Well, if you want to read an account of my notorious night with the Noir monster, and you're not easily shocked, go to my website, eddiemuller.com, and look under the section labeled Extras. You'll find an essay entitled The Big Leak. And don't say I didn't warn you. And if you want to share your thoughts about today's film or the legend of Lawrence Tierney, drop us a note in the Noir Alley Facebook page or Twitter feed. Then join us back here next week when we venture into the realm of the supernatural for a tale of twisted fate written by John Huston and directed by Jean Negulesco. Peter Lorre, Sidney Greenstreet, and Geraldine Fitzgerald star in the 1946 Warner Brothers film Three Strangers. Until then, keep the meat warm.